Now, how do you do that? Well, clearly they think they can do that and they're doing it. And I don't think they will get the desired results because it's not that simple. It's not how things work in war. And you have to kind of give it to Iranians. I don't uh, agree with either side. I think both sides have their own issues, but you have to give it to the Iranians for the stand that they have taken and for the fight that they have put up. It's really, really, uh, it's really amazing what they have done. So it looks like, let me bring this one here and this one here. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Uh-oh, what did I just do? I think I messed it up. Ah, that's why. Because I use OBS for my streaming software, and one of my monitors is 4K, and the other monitor is 1080p. So whenever I move it from one monitor to the other, it kind of acts up a little bit. So here we are, we're back in action. Yeah, lots of stuff happening in the marketplace. Uh, as we can see here on the charts, we're looking at the WTI, the crude chart, and we can see it's taken a beating since it opened up on Monday. Here, let me zoom in. It opened up right here at around 105. Right now it's at 97. And the same thing, and DXY, Dixie, or the dollar index is following the same path. It opened at 99.20. Now it's at 98.20. So it's fallen a complete 100 points and following the the path of the WTI or the crude oil. And we know why. Because now the majority of the crude is being priced in, obviously, the petrodollar, and the whole thing behind petrodollar is that all of the crude gets priced in US dollar. And then if any country, for example, if Japan wants to buy crude from US or from the Middle East, they um, have to convert their Japanese yen into US dollars, and then kind of convert the crude and then buy the crude from the Middle Eastern countries or anywhere in the world for that matter in US dollars. So that's the whole concept behind petrodollars. Now, any country that has gone against the US and challenged this particular arrangement has faced annihilation. That includes um, that includes. Am I? I'm not sure if you're getting audio or not, guys. I just want to make sure. Let me just gonna make a quick phone call and see if the audio is coming or not. Actually, we're gonna send a message to one of my teammates. Uh, yeah, so I just sent a message. Hopefully, it's there. So what happened now is on any country that actually challenged that arrangement got annihilated, the likes of Libya, the likes of Iraq, and then Venezuela. They all challenged the petrodollar arrangement and wanted to sell oil either in their own currency or against gold or other currencies for that matter. Like, for example, Iran wants to sell oil in Chinese yuan, and clearly, US is feeling threatened by that, and that's why we are seeing what's happening to Iran. And I think it's all about oil. I don't think it has anything to do with Iranian regime and how they treat the people or democracy or anything like that. It's all absolutely, it's absolutely BS. It's all about oil and nothing but the oil. I think that's where things are. Hang on, I'm gonna make this one a little bigger. Okay, because I'm putting this news on because there's lots of stuff happening, uh, and as we speak, so that's why I have the news feed also on. And the reason I have RT is because they allow embedding of they allow the actually embedding of their news any platforms whatsoever. Um, one second, I think nobody can see the news stream. One second. I'm gonna make a quick phone call, guys. Right back. I'll be right back. Checking with one of my teammates. So yeah, the audio is fine, and you are definitely getting the video for the news. So again, here you can see on the news it's a blockade of blockade, and everybody is actually mocking the United States for doing this. I think it's ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. So now we can see right out of the bat over the weekend, the dollar index shot up, say from 98.60-ish all the way up to 99.1, 99.05. And then there's been a steady decline of the dollar index over the last day and a half, because markets opened up on Sunday night, and now we are looking at Tuesday morning, and there is a steady decline as far as the dollar index is concerned. So we are looking at the 15-minute chart. So every bar you see is 15 minutes. I'm going to change that to 4 hours to give us a little bit of a bigger or better picture. And then it's telling us a story here, guys. And what is that story? Anytime I look at a chart and I'm doing some analysis, I look at, say, left to right for the medium term. So I'm going back, say, a couple of months. I'm looking at left to right. The trend is clearly. Let me remove all the drawings here, and the trend is clearly high. As we can see, the prices are making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. But here is making a lower low. So I'm not sure it's temporary, but it's a wait and watch game and see what really goes on for the next couple of days. But making a disclaimer, guys, I do have a long position on the dollar, not exactly the dollar index, but on a dollar-based pair like GBP USD, EUR USD. I'm actually short those. That means I'm long the dollar, and by base of that, then I'm long the dollar index. So now, what do I notice here? Look at the stochastics. Stochastics are sitting at under 10. It's as low as they can get. See, going all the way as low as they can get. You're looking at RSI is under 30, is in like 26 right now. And the last time it was as low was earlier on when it gapped down, it was sitting at 25. Okay, guys. So now what do I see here? I firmly believe, and cornerstone of my trading is divergence. And I strictly believe in how divergences work. And it has served us at Edge Forex really well. And now I see a divergence here. What is a divergence? Divergence is nothing but a momentum indicator disagreeing with the price movement. So if the price is moving low, making lower lows, but the momentum indicator is making higher lows and higher highs, that means the momentum is actually shifting and price reversal is nigh or near. So that's what I see here is if I see price here is making lower lows, guys. It's clear, right? It's going down here. And for the same period, if I look at RSI is making higher lows. So RSI is saying that, hey, I do not agree with the price and I want and I want to move higher. And that's why we see what we call divergence. And divergence is just one of three things that I look at before I actually place a trade or before we actually send out a signal to our subscribers that hey, now it's time to actually get into this particular trade. So the first thing we look at is an overextended trend. So clearly this trend has at 19 RSI on a 4-hour chart is by any means overextended. Now, second thing we look is divergence. So the price is still moving lower and lower, but the momentum indicator is saying that, hey, I am moving higher. So the price reversion or price reversal is not too far from where we are at. So now here we look at the price reversion, and now price has started to move higher, or the dollar index started to move higher, but not by much. So the third thing we look at is trend line break. Okay, we can create a trend line like this. Okay, so once we go over, say, 99.3, that will confirm the breakout, which is 100 points away from here, which is fine. But that breakout is going to be so strong that it's going to be, we're looking at 300 to 400 point move once that breakout actually confirms. So let's look at some of the US based pairs. So now we're looking at the dollar index. Let's look at some of the US based pairs that are actually also doing the same thing. So let's go on the 4-hour chart here also. Okay, guys. Now here, for the first thing we look at the overextended price. So RSI sitting at 77 here. Clearly, here at this point, price is overextended. So and the price is making higher highs clearly. So from this point is 1.3480 to 1.3536. That's how, so it's clearly making higher highs. And then the RSI is making lower highs. So from 78 is down to 71. So the price has gone up by 50 pips, 60 pips, but the RSI has gone lower by 7 points, which is quite big actually. So now here, what we do is, let me zoom in a little bit more, and we are going to draw a trend line, and right here, and once it breaks somewhere here, say around another, say 70, 80 pips from down here, that'll give us a sell signal, and then we have a clear break lower. So here, like here, then we place a trade. That's the projected move. Clearly, we don't know that for sure. It has to break this trend line first. Now, we also look at, say, EUR USD. Okay, guys. So let's zoom in. Same different chart, US based chart, but the same story. We're looking at a 4-hour chart. Clearly, the price is overextended. RSI just like GBP USD 77, 78. And then RSI is pointing lower at 72. So there's a 6-point difference. So it's making the price we have quite a bit. 100 and 80 pips. So if 80 pips higher price, but a 7-point lower RSI, and boom, two of our three rules are checked. And once this price is broken, this trend line is broken, we enter into our trade, and that is going to give us easy 3, 4, 500 pips very, very, very easily. Again, disclaimer, I am in that trade right now as we speak. So now, so we looked at DXY, we looked at EUR GBP, we looked at GBP USD. So now let's also we looked at the oil also. Now let's look at something else I wanted to look at. Let's look at 1 second, guys. I wanted to some it's missing me now. Gold, yes. Why? How did I forget that? Let's look at XAU USD. So gold priced in the US dollars. Gold almost touched 4,800. So it had a huge gap. It filled that gap, and now it's at so it's a 15-minute chart. Let me close that chart here. Now what's gold? See here, even though prices are overbought, but there's no divergence. See, so the RSI and price are moving in tandem, so there is no divergence. So I don't see any imminent reversal that is imminent or that's going to happen in the near future. I think the gold has bottomed or is very close to bottoming. Look at this, guys. This is a clear bull flag. Look at, let me zoom out here. Okay, guys. I'm going to make, if anybody knows anything about chart patterns, they would know what a bull flag is. And that's what we have here. What we have here is failure to communicate. Anybody knows where that line comes from, guys? Guns and Roses. Okay, so we have this bull flag here, and it's about to be broken. Once that flag trend line breaks, guys, it's all vacuum up here. It's really, really good entry point once that bull flag is broken. And I think it may be, I don't know, guys, depending on, there's so much geopolitical stuff that is happening outside out there. And then markets are taking a hit because of that, and liquidity is getting squeezed. So the first thing what everybody does is goes and sells gold because that's the most liquid asset, and that's what everybody tries to sell. So that's what people do not understand. That why gold gets hit first when there is any shock to the system. That is counterintuitive because everybody's going to think that hey, gold is the safe haven asset. Of course it is. It is a safe haven when you need the liquidity. That's when you sell it. That's when you raise cash to meet your margin calls. And it's a short-term dip. That's your buying opportunity, guys, not to panic out of your position. Okay, that's where everybody gets it wrong. And I keep telling you guys that, hey, any dip, we are in a multi-year bull run here. Any dip is a buying opportunity, especially in silver, especially platinum, silver, any monetary metals. You want to buy. We are expecting huge. I am expecting huge wave of inflation coming down the pike over the next, I would say, 6 to 9 months. There are going to be food shortages. There are going to be few disruptions. Why? Because think about it. Look at it this way. A lot of countries are already late in planting the crops. They're already way too late. So the harvest they're expecting to be 30 to 40% lower than it would be in any other year. On top of that, there is a huge shortage of fertilizers that comes out of the Middle East. Now, combine the two. Now, that is going to give you food shortages worldwide, especially in African countries, because they don't have any reserves built in. They don't have any backup. They don't have any storage to store the kind of food, grains that are required, say, for more than a few weeks at a time, because they just can't afford to. Countries like United States or Canada or India or China, they're huge breadbaskets. They create their own food supply and they have huge backup and storages. So that's why they're not too worried. But the third world countries in Africa, third world countries in Asia, they are going to be in a world of trouble because of the fertilizer shortages, because of the late plantation, which is going to affect the harvest, or no, the how much food is actually produced. So it is going to be absolute shit show towards the end of the year. That's what I am expecting. And the inflation, guys, is going to go through the roof, because all the input costs, because of the high fertilizers, because of the high oil, everything, all your input costs are going skyrocket. They are skyrocketing and they are touching the moon right now. So all of that is going to result in higher food prices, and I am expecting food riots in third world countries by the end of the year. I would say starting anywhere 4 to 6 months from now. So now is the time, guys, to save money. Now is the time to just bite the bullet. Don't go for that vacation. Save that money, because you're gonna need that money end of this year. Second half of this year, you're gonna need a lot of money for the food shortages, for the extra money you'll have to pay for your daily staples like grain, like milk, sugar, barley, everything, fruits, vegetables, everything is going to cost you more. Restaurants are going to cost you more. Everything is going to cost you more and more. So then, if you, oh, getting a call, just 1 second, guys. I gotta take this call. I'll be back live in a few minutes, and till then, I'm just gonna leave the screen on so you can just watch the news. But I'll be back in a couple of minutes, not a couple of minutes, in a few minutes. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry for that. And now, since I was gone, the Dixie has fallen. Like dollar is like falling continuously, and it's totally counterintuitive, because when it opened over the weekend, there was a huge gap up on the dollar. Let's go back to the dollar index. There was this huge uh the gap down here. Right here, right here. Sorry, I'm looking at previous week. Here, that's what I'm talking about. There was this huge gap up, and since then it's just dying slowly, just lower, lower, lower. And we would think it would go higher. And I was saying, because of the whole uh, oil situation, and oil also is same thing. What happened to the dollar is happened to the oil. Like, just look at this huge gap up. It's a 15-minute chart. So from all the way from 96 all the way up to 104, and since then it's just getting lower, 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 and it is totally, totally counterintuitive. Like here, mm, so he says oil prices soar after UK US blockades. Yeah, it soared yesterday, but or sorry, rather overnight, over Sunday into Monday. But since then, it's dropping. Something is happening. Something is short. Someone is shorting oil like anything. They know something that we don't. Maybe there is some kind of agreement that is underway, that is happening. I don't know. I cannot put my finger on it as to why this is taking place because it makes absolutely no freaking sense. All right, so let's also, am I sharing the screen? Let me actually share the window instead so we can look at some news items together. Okay, I'm going to remove this. They're going to be blank. I'm going to remove this. Okay, they're going to be blank screen for a little bit. And I'm going to share my screen instead so we can look at different items. We want to do display capture. Okay. All right. So same thing happened now because of the screen being 4K. There are a lot more pixels that is trying to fit into a 1080p screen, and that's why you see it's so much bigger, and I have to make it smaller. So I have to send this to back, and then we should be good to go. There we go. So now I'm sharing my screen, and let's go minimize this. Let's bring up the, let's see what CNN says. Okay, Trump's approach to Iran is an extension of his personal brand, whatever that means. And did you guys see Trump came out posing as Jesus? And it is so ridiculous. It's not funny. It's like blasphemy at levels never seen before. It's like, economists are putting a price on the Iran war fallout in Asia, and it doesn't look good because of all the LPG, especially in countries like India and Pakistan. It goes through Strait of Hormuz, and from Kuwait, most of it actually goes from Kuwait to India and Pakistan, and there's huge shortages. Some of the restaurants have shut down. The gas cylinders that would usually cost, say, in Indian rupees, say around 1,000, are now costing over 5,000. So, and in the food business, oil or gas is the highest fixed expense that they have to incur. And if that goes up by 500%, they have to raise the food prices by at least twice or thrice. And people just can't afford it, and they can't sell. If they can't sell, they have to shut their businesses down, at least temporarily, and then they have to let those people go with or without pay. So that increases the unemployment. So, all in all, the economic fallout from this is going to be absolutely huge. And this is what I was talking about, guys. Trump claims the Jesus like image he posted was meant to depict him as a doctor. Seriously, guys, look at it. Who does he think he is fooling here? He is just, I just don't get it, guys. This guy is totally, totally, totally lost it. I think there is cognitive failure. He can't even walk straight anymore. I don't know what's really going on with this guy. So so that's what's happening on CNN. Let's see what Reuters is saying. So we go to Reuters. So US begins Iran port blockade. Oil prices ease on hopes for dialogue. Hopes for dialogue. Oil prices are going down. That doesn't make sense. There's always hope. Hope that aliens are going to land. Hope that I get a freaking jet to myself. Hope doesn't work. It's the ground reality that should be governing the prices for the oil, and that is not what is happening right now. I just don't get it. It's just so counterintuitive. It is not funny. So even if talks happen. We know what happened in the last talks when they happened in Islamabad in Pakistan. Not a single point was agreed upon, contrary to what Trump said. Iranians were saying that nothing was agreed upon, and everything that they say is absolute BS. So, do you think they are going to agree to give up all the uranium? They say it's not going to happen. And Trump is saying that's a non-starter. They have to give up all their the uranium. You think they're just going to give up Strait of Hormuz without getting compensated for all the damages that were caused by Israel and the U.S.? Absolutely not. And the biggest thing, the reason I think the negotiations or the talks are going to fail is the fact that one of the party to the war is not even part of the negotiations. It's not even part of the peace talks. And you guessed it right, is Israel. Israel is not listening to Trump. Israel is not listening to anybody. They are bombarding, even though there is a ceasefire, they are bombarding Lebanon like never before. So, in my opinion, as long as Israel is not party to the peace talks, the peace deal it cannot be completed. So I think it's a non-starter to begin with, and I think this move, by the on the surface, it looks like it's a fake out, and then oil prices and along with it the dollar are heading a lot higher, and that's going to drive gold down temporarily, and I think it's going to come back roaring. Gold I'm talking about is going to come back roaring after that. But it's as of now, I think that's my working thesis that the stocks are going to be a non-starter as long as Israel is not part of it. If Israel comes to the table and all three parties are talking, then I'll say yes. There is a hope. There's a chance that this may work out. But as long as Israel is not part of the talks, I don't think anything is going to happen anytime soon. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Okay, guys, let's see what else is going on. Here are the Italy surprise rise to export to US Nazi tariff. Oh, did you guys know? See that Maloney, the Italian Prime Minister, Georgia, she got so worked up with that whole Trump posing as Jesus, and it was so funny to see her talk and like how majorly pissed off she was. It's just really it was really funny, and I thought like she is. I like her. I like her a lot. I like her style. Like she speaks her mind. She doesn't care what the forum is. If she sees, she calls a spade a spade. If sees somebody bullshitting, she calls their bullshit on their freaking face. And I think she's really cool. And Trump should learn a thing or two from her. But anyways, this is getting a little. Let's see what's happening on the gold side here. Anytime I want to see what's happening on gold, my favorite place is to go to goldseek.com. They have everything in one spot. All the gold prices, silver price, all your metals are right here, and all your US index, all of those kind of things are here. It's all in one spot. So yeah, platinum guys in the last 6 months. Wow. What a freaking rally. What a rally. Like from 800 900s over, I think it capped at 2600. Now it's at around 2100. And it is just, and it was lasting a year and a half ago. I actually converted some of my gold into platinum, and I think I got 3 ounces of platinum for every ounce of gold. And then now, so an ounce of gold is 4,800. So if I take 3 ounces of platinum, which is 6,000, so instead of 4,800, I have 6,000. So that's the kind of returns by just changing metal, one metal into another, can give you like 20-30% extra, but your timing has to be right. And in this case, I kind of lucked out because platinum was down at all-time lows as far as ratios to gold has never been never seen before. Historically, platinum, in my opinion, not my opinion, by data shows that platinum is usually more valuable because it's scarcer metal. It has industrial uses. It's a monetary metal. It's jewelry made out of platinum. So historically, it's actually worth costs more than gold. But right now, it is at a huge discount, say around 60% discount from gold. And I think that will change, in my opinion. At some point, platinum will cost more than gold ever did, and it may happen sooner than later. The other thing I wanted to show you guys was gold to silver ratio. Okay, I remember this thing going. So if say right now gold to silver ratio is sitting at 61 and change. It went down to around 45, but it went as high as 120. So if you converted your gold a year ago to silver, you would have doubled your money just by converting the one metal into another. People don't realize that how much money you can make just by converting one metal into another. But your timing, as I said, has to be perfect, has to be immaculate. Because if you're just playing these ratios, yes, you want to hold on to your metals for the long term. But you can just play these ratios, and while you're holding, you're actually growing your metal. So now, when ideal is when it goes up to 100, convert your gold into silver. Comes down to 50, convert it back to gold. So you're doubling your metal every single transaction. If it happens a year, 2 years, who cares? Because long term is only going to go up. And in the meantime, you're doubling it every year or 2 years. And I think nobody, or I'm sure people do it, but not enough people do it. They don't realize it. They think it's too much work or it's not worth it. And people get bogged down into things like, oh, there's too much commission. And I don't think you should. Okay? Because long term, you are doubling your money every 2 years on top of the gains you're going to make from gold and silver growth. Okay, guys. So that said, let's go back to the charts and see what is happening. Hey, what happened? Trading view. I love trading view, guys. It is so good. I love it. I love trading view. Like it's the indicators, the charts, the drawings, everything is in one spot. It's really good. So let's see when the news. I think there's news 15. Yeah, there's news coming. U.S. news coming out today, which is PPI month over month. So its forecast is 1.2. So that's producer price index. So that's inflation related number. So previous was zero point 0.7, now is 1.2. That means 1.2% month over month. This is, guys, this is not year over year. So for 1 month, the inflation forecast for price production, the cost of producing goods is going up by 1.2%. And that is the cost that the producers are going to pass down to the consumers. So if it's going up by 1.2% every month, we are looking at 14 to 15% annualized. So that's what I meant, guys. Inflation is going to be a huge shocker later this year, and it's going to take everybody by surprise. And I don't think enough people are ready for that yet. And that's what I'm saying. If you can avoid that vacation because you're going to need that money. Keep your powder dry, guys. You're going to need all the money. You're going to need a lot of money just to offset inflation. and to keep your same standard of living, because I would hate to see people who follow me have their standard of living go down because of inflation. So I just want to warn you guys ahead of time that hey, this is what I see coming. This is what I see happen over the next, 4, 5, 6 months, and how to kind of preserve your wealth: buy gold, buy silver, keep US dollars, and I think you'll be fine. But inflation is baked in the system right now. It's baked in. We have no escape. Like it happened at COVID time when all the free money was being distributed. Inflation was baked in. You cannot print money out of thin air and not expect some negatives and not expect some repercussions. It always, without fail, leads to inflation. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon, guys. All your universities, schools, all your macroeconomics teachers is being taught wrong. It's bullshit. They keep saying that, hey, it's the change in price over a period of time. Yes, that's the symptom. But inflation is increase or deflation is the decrease. Inflation is the increase in the supply of units of exchange, or which is called money, over time, that causes the inflation, or sorry, the price rise. So is the effect rises of the prices is the effect of inflation. Inflation is inflating the supply of money. And people usually confuse that. And I really get irritated when I'm talking to these neo Keynesians and who keep saying they don't get it. Like a concept so simple that hey, if you have too much of one thing and only a limited supply of the other, clearly, if you have too much supply, it's going to lose its value. It's as simple as it gets. But no, I don't get it. It's so simple. People argue with me left and right every day that inflation is the change in prices. I said, no, that's the effect. Cause the is inflation, which is the rise in the supply of money. Anyway, so that's all there is. So now everything is like kind of at a standstill right now. The Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. No oil is going in and out of there. No tankers are going in and out of there. Uh, Oil should be spiking high, but it's crashing. Dollar should be spiking high, but it's crashing. People think there is going to be a truce or some kind of peace. I don't see that happening. I don't see how, unless Israel comes to the table and negotiate and agrees, which I don't think they will, unless Iran gives up their nuclear material or enriched uranium. I don't see that happening. It may happen in the short term. We'll be back at it in a few weeks or months about the same thing's going to be happening. So, all in all, I am cautiously optimistic, but with a huge grain of salt, if that makes any sense, where these things are going. I think we haven't seen the worst yet. Worst is yet to come. Is it possible we may have a temporary truce? Absolutely, 100%. But I think the worst is yet to come. Worst is in front of us, not behind us. So that's my 2 cents for this morning. If I see something substantial happen, I'll come back live again to talk. And if not, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. If not, kind of late night. Let me see if there are anybody waiting for in the chat. Is there anybody waiting in the chat? Okay, yeah, there is. Okay. Yeah, okay, it's responded to. All right, guys. I think that's it for now. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you. Bye.